Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a very early live stream from Canadian Starships tonight. First order of business, can you see me? Can you hear me? Leave me a comment in the comment section if you can see me and hear me. We're doing 2 live streams tonight. The first one is now. The second one is at the normal time. We'll go for about 2 hours right now, break for dinner, and then come back at 9 o'clock. So if you can see me, hear me, leave me a comment, although there might not be very many people here yet because people don't know that I'm live streaming. But Darth Trent is here and says that we're good. Let's see. Wayne is here and said, I only went and made a live stream. Hi, Andrew. Wait, are you planning to live stream? I'm not normally live streaming this time of day, but my family is away. They just left to head off to the in-laws, which means I have free time. So I'm streaming, just doing a double header, streaming now and streaming later. Okay, I get it. Made my live stream. Yeah. For those of you over in the UK and over on that side of the pond, it's probably a little bit easier to make live streams at this point in time. Normally, I've got my family with me on Saturdays, and so I don't get to live streaming until they are in bed, which makes it a little bit tough for those who are not in North America. But yeah, they are off on the road. They are heading out to the in-laws for a week, and so I figured why not get a little bit of extra live stream time in. Whether people find me or not, I don't know, but we are just going to kind of do some building. I do not have my tea Earl Grey hot right now because that is going to be a later thing. That's going to be for the stream later tonight. So I just have my regular old coffee and my regular old sparkling water, and we'll get building. Let's see. Wayne also says, I'm with Andrew from Inner Lights tomorrow. Very fun. You say hi from me. And if you've had a chance to look at his stuff and play around with his stuff, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's in this thing right here, and I can't say better things about it. I can never say enough good stuff about it because it is just that good. All right, I'm on my own, so bear with me while I try to handle all the chat and the modeling and all that kind of stuff. So we've got about 2 hours right now. Then I got to go take a dinner break, get a few things done around the house, and then I will be back for 9 o'clock. So let me go and grab the, actually, I've got a part right here beside me. So let me switch over cameras here. I just need to move a few things that are on my screen. Let's throw the bench view on. I'm also working with a new overhead camera, so might need to just work with that a little bit. The exposure, positioning, all that kind of stuff. So this is my first live stream with the new overhead camera. Let's get my face back up in the corner so you can see my face when I do something terrible and mess up, and you can see how cringy it is. All right, we have a fully wired, I think, I'm going to double check everything, but a fully wired up top secondary hull part, which means we should, fingers crossed, be putting this on the lower secondary hull today. So let's see what we can do. I just need to go over everything and make sure everything is there. All the resistors are there. All the wiring is there. I think I have a 0402 SMD that's on the very back here that I will need to connect up to the wiring in the neck. What's going to happen is, let me grab... Actually, I'll grab that in a little bit here. But if you can see behind me here, let me switch cameras, faceception here. But there's the secondary hull with the warp engines installed. So what's going to happen, I'll bring that over in a little bit, but this is going to fit over top. And all of the wiring for everything in the secondary hull is coming up to the neck. So the top part of the secondary hull can be easily connected to the lower part, because you can't do that until the parts are together, or you're going to have a mess of wires and risk pulling things. So it's much easier to connect everything up in the top of the neck. So I need to extend these teeny tiny 0402 SMD wires up through the top of the neck. I don't have to go very far because these almost reach all the way up, but we'll get those extended, we'll get those tacked down, and then we're just going to go over everything, make sure everything is actually ready to go, and then we're going to get this thing onto the wrong arm, onto that secondary hull lower section. Get it secured down, clamped down. Maybe, fingers crossed, it'll actually be ready to unclamp by the time the second live stream comes around. I'm not going to I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, but we'll see what happens. All right, so let's think. This is going to be, I need to check some reference material first of all and see if this light, which is just on the back end of the secondary hull here, if that is supposed to be a constant on white or if that is supposed to be a flasher. So I have some footage from Generations that I compiled together, and I'm just going to make sure that the audio is muted. Perfect. I'm going to find a clip here, and I'm going to try to see if I can find out if it's flasher or if it's not, because I don't remember how I hooked it up on the other one. So bear with me. Give me a moment. It's not a flasher on the TV version. I'm just going to double check that it's not a flasher on the Generations version. Okay, I think I've got a good view of it coming up. No. There are not a lot of views of the ship in Generations. They went through all the work to Okay. I've found just enough of a clip to show that it is not a flasher. So let me move to this view here. And these are the tail fan lights. This is the light underneath. It is constant on. And if I advance this just ever so slightly, you'll see the light up here. That's the one that we're talking about. It is constant on. And it just a very short view that gives us the information we need. So that is perfect. Let me close the video. I don't need extra things running on my computer if I don't need them, especially when I'm live streaming. So we are going to be using the constant on colors for wiring, which are the orange and brown. Oh, live on camera, folks. My chair just tipped over. That's got to be worth at least a little bit of comic relief there, right? My chair fell over on me. All right, good thing I wasn't holding anything, carrying anything or anything like that. Okay, so we are going to be using the orange and brown colors for this. We're not going to need a whole lot. We're just going to extend the wires up to the top of the neck so that when we assemble this onto the secondary hull, this brown wire is a mess. So that when we assemble it to the secondary hull, we have the ability to join everything up at the top of the neck there. I'm probably going to use more wire than I need to here. That's fine. Not a problem. Actually, I probably could have just grabbed a scrap piece from my scrap pile, but that's okay. Better get my solder station on. Here we go. So what's everybody up to today? What are you guys working on? I mean, you guys know what I'm working on. I'm working on the Enterprise D, but what are you guys working on today? Live stream's going to be a little bit slow right now because nobody knows that I'm live. So it's like a secret live stream. But what are all of you working on today? All right. Get the handy dandy omni thingamabobbies out. Let's see. Darth Trent is working on the 172 Bandai X-Wing. Very nice. And Captain Shalamang just so you can see in case I said something wrong there. And then Captain Shellmangs here says, well, early stream must be busy tonight, Andrew. No, I am still live streaming tonight. The family is off to the in-laws, which means I have some extra time I can be in the shop. And I thought, why not do a double header? So we're going to go for about 2 hours here on the first live stream. And then we're going to pick it up at regular time, 9 p.m. Eastern, for a second live stream. So that's kind of what we're doing. And might do the same thing next week. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. David James says, "Hi there, Andrew. Happy to catch this earlier stream. Yeah, it's don't get used to it because normally the family's here and family time takes priority when they are here. But they are off to the in-laws for a week, and so I have some time here on my own, and I figured I'm going to be doing the work because I got to get the work done. Might as well live stream at the same time. So I'm glad you're able to catch the stream. All right, so we're going to join these up. This might not be fully heated yet. Oh, it should be. Oh, there we go. I don't know about anybody else, but it is incredibly hot here today. It is incredibly hot. I mean, maybe my idea of incredibly hot is different from other people's ideas of incredibly hot, but it is hot summer here at the moment. My least favorite time of the year. I do not do well in the heat. I'm one of those guys who likes to have cooler weather. I do prefer if it's not rainy, cold and rainy, because then paint doesn't work well. But cool temperatures, so springtime and fall are my favorite times as far as temperatures. Winter I don't mind. The only problem with winter is it's hard to get outside to get painting done if I've got stuff that I don't want to be painting in the shop. It's also harder to get air cleared out in the shop when I'm painting in the shop because I like to open up the big garage doors behind me and air the place out that way. But when it's wintertime, that is a no-go. Let's see, we've got some more people here. Welcome, everyone. Darren Peters is here. Says, "Hi, Andrew. Good time for streaming, but when fam aways, Andrew, time to play. I am working on studio scale TNG tricorder." Oh, very cool. Very cool. That's something I would love to do. Is to have is to get into some of the props. Not my area of expertise by any means, and I'm sure I'd have to get into 3D design and printing and stuff like that in order to do it, but I would love to do that. If I get into 3D printing and 3D design, I'll probably start with a TNG communicator or a first contact communicator and rank pips, because I think that that's probably one of the easier things to kind of figure out and learn. David James says, "Working on the All Good Things Future Enterprise right now." Very cool. The 3 nacelle Enterprise. 3 nacelles, not typically my favorite, but it was very cool seeing that come in there to the rescue in All Good Things. And Captain Shalamang says, "I mean, Florida is hot as well. You walk outside, you get schmucked in the face, so I know the feeling." Yeah, I try to avoid Florida this time of year. We do Florida in the wintertime. And typically, I get very lucky that it's always overcast and a little bit cooler when we're in Florida, which is perfect for me. Again, I do not do well in the heat, so everybody else is miserable because it's cool and overcast, and I'm like, this is the perfect weather. I will actually get sick if I'm in the heat for too long. Let's see if I've got a scrap piece of orange. Where is my scrap container for wire? It's got to be around here somewhere. I have a bin somewhere. And of course, when I want it, I can't find it. but somewhere I've got a little margarine bin with scrap wire in it. And do you think I can find that when I want it? No, I can't. So I'm going to have to pull some new stuff, I guess. Oh, it might be across the workshop here. There's another bin, and no, it's not. It's gone missing. I'll find it after I need it. So we'll just grab a new piece of orange here. We don't need an awful lot. Here we go. Stephen Martins here says, "Good afternoon, gents." Well, good evening. Good. I'm so used to streaming at night. Good afternoon, Stephen. Welcome to this unplanned, unscheduled, impromptu double-header live stream. Like I said, we are doing about 2 hours now, but I will be back later with my normal live stream at 9 p.m. So we'll go. We'll go to about 6 p.m. Eastern with this stream. Break for dinner because I will need to eat and do a few other things around the house, and then we'll come back for 9 p.m. Eastern. There we go. So I have not had a video out since just after Wonderfest. And as much as I would love to get a video out and a video update out, the reason why I haven't gotten one out is because I am trying to get this Enterprise caught up with the other one. When I was getting ready for Wonderfest, it was heads down, burning the candle at both ends, trying to get the thing presentable for Wonderfest. Which meant when it comes to video content, I really had to gloss over the paint process. And the paint process on this project is a big deal. And the paint process needs to have the video love it deserves. Going through Wayne's masking set and showing how it works, how it gets applied, all that kind of stuff. And so I recognized that I really had to gloss over that, getting it ready for Wonderfest. So it deserves to have a whole update video focusing in on that paint process. So I'm trying to get the build on this as close to done as I'm trying to get the build on this done so I can get to the paint process and really do a good in-depth video on that. So, okay. We've got those extended. We're going to tack these down with solar res so that we can get them running up the top of the neck and connect them. We are at 11 viewers. Wow. For an impromptu, unscheduled, non-normal live stream. That's pretty good, I'd say. Let's see. David James says, "Hi, yeah, I agree. It's an ugly design, but everyone does the regular D, and this seemed like it would be a fun challenge." Yeah. There's a guy I was chatting with who isn't too far away from me, about 2 hours away here in Canada, and he has the Don Shoko 1000 scale Enterprise kit as well, because I was doing that before I moved over to the 650 scale. It's sitting on the shelf over there. It will get completed at some point. And since the client bumped over to the 650 Helios, I'll probably just sell that as a completed project at some point once it's done. But this guy, he has the Don Shoko D, and his plan is to turn it into the All Good Things Enterprise. And so I had a nasty set of nacelles, and I ended up getting a full replacement set of nacelles from Don for the Don Shoko for the Shoko D, and so he the guy who's building the All Good Things Enterprise offered to buy the jankier ones that he would then work with to make them as good as he could, so that he had the third nacelle. He offered to buy them. I didn't want to sell them to him because I got free replacements from Don, and I didn't want to to charge them anything for them because they weren't any good to me anyway, right? Let's see. Captain Shalmang says, "I like the 3 nacelle design, especially on the Federation TOS class, but I can understand where some vessels look weird, like the Galaxy X." Yeah. I don't know. It for me, it's not so much whether it looks weird or not. I think if it's been well thought through and not just kind of like tagged on, I think it can look really cool. But for me, it's more doesn't make sense from an in-world, like an in-universe perspective to me. 2, like I like 2 or 4. 4, it needs to be designed well. Anything more than that is just kind of crazy. There's some weird designs on the internet where people like go crazy with nacelles when it's not really necessary, and I think it can, if not done well, it can become very much unbalanced. So for me, the key with extra nacelles is how the design is done and that it's really well thought through. I understand with Next Jet, like with All Good Things, they didn't want to make any major serious alterations to the model that they were using. They just kind of tacked it on. But I do appreciate it when it's really well thought through. So that's what I appreciate. Let's see. I have opinions on nacelles. Like I'm definitely a fan of nacelles that are lower hanging nacelles. So when I was younger and TNG was on the air, I did like the design of the, where is that wire? Did I bring it through? Okay, I brought it through. Good. Sorry, talking to myself while I'm doing this. Well, trying to talk to you and talking to myself. I really liked the Nebula class design when TNG was first airing. I didn't really notice it too much when it was Captain Maxwell's ship, and it was the first Cardassian episode, so I didn't really notice it much there. But when I really first noticed it was the episode where Data takes command of the Sutherland. So that's when I really noticed that design. I think it looked better. The Nebula class looked better in, is it Redemption Part 2? I think so. It wasn't Unification. I think it was Redemption. One of those 2-part Klingon Romulan episodes. Yeah, I think it looked better as the Sutherland. It had a much better upper pod. I've got the old Dawn's Light and Magic, when it was actually Dawn's Light and Magic conversion kit for the 1400 scale Nebula conversion. So at some point I will do that. But I think probably my favorite ship design is also a lower positioned warp nacelle ship, and that is the Akira class. I'm also a fan of the Lunar class and the Parliament class, and they all have the lower positioned warp nacelles. So I think that's a thing for me. I also really like. I mean, I don't know how well it would have worked out for Voyager, but I like the concept model. And again, it had the lower down warp nacelle. So I think that's just a thing for me. I like the lower down warp nacelles. All right, we've got that extended. I'm going to do a quick check of all of the 0402 SMDs. Make sure that they all have their resistors as needed, and then I think we're going to be able to work on getting this thing onto the secondary hull. That's going to be a big step for this particular copy of the kit. Let's see. Captain Shalmang says, I mean, the four nacelles looks nice. The Stargazer from Picard and the Constellation class were nice looking for 4 nacelle ships. Yeah, I would love to get a nice sized lightable model kit of the Constellation class. I think that would be really cool. I know that there's a lot of people have scratch built based off of the 535, whatever it's called, whatever scale it is, the 537 scale. I've got a copy of the kit up here off the 537 refit and scratch building out. I think Jody from Trek Mods would probably do a good job scratch building a Stargazer from or kit bashing a Stargazer from some other kits. But I would love to have an actual proper kit of it to build. All right, so we've got some navigation lights over here. The whites don't need to have resistors on the positive. The colors do. Looks like those are all good. Those are all good, and we haven't lost any. That's the other key. All right. I think we're ready to do a major installation live on camera. So let's see. Let's bring this monstrosity over. Oh, something I do need to do first, though. Okay, we're not assembling yet, folks. Hold your horses. We're not assembling yet. I've got a couple things with the fiber to do first. Glad I saw that. First thing we need to do is secure this fiber line, which is for the aft photons down in here, so it's not moving around. I'm wondering, is the overhead camera just a little bit too overexposed? Let's see if I can auto exposure. I might just have to deal with it today because I have to learn the software that comes with this camera. But hopefully it's not too bad there. All right. This is the aft photon launcher fiber. It is secured to this here. There's some really cool LED caps that I got from Andy at Inner Lighting Scale Electronics. And I cannot find these things online anywhere, so I'm not sure where Andy gets them. I'm gonna have to get a batch from him at some point because they come in handy. They clip right onto the 5mm SMD on your standard LED strips, and I've just it will clip on, but then I've epoxied it in place. I've painted it for light purposes, and we are going to grab my Dremel here. And before I install the piece, I'm going to just take a little bit of that out so that the fiber can come up through. Loud noise incoming. There we go. That's done. I'm going to tuck this under some of this wiring, just so the wiring will hold it in place. It's just going to come out the end until it gets trimmed off. So let's tack that down. Where's my flashlight? Now's a good time. Now's not a good time to lose it. Okay, it's all the way over here. Steve Martin says, yes, Constitution class looks great. Grown on me. Some of the other 4 nacelle designs look like giant X-Wings. And let's see. David James says, yeah, seeing that guy Stargazer on Tested really makes me want one now. Yeah. Oh, that was very cool. I would want to paint one as if it was, oh, that did not hold. Okay. That did not hold. Let me clear that out. And try again. I'm going to put my gloves on this time. Yeah, that was very cool to see that at Wonderfest. He did it as it appeared in the ready room, and there's some lore, apparently, around that model that I was not aware of. So it was cool to see that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is the Tested channel still coming out with Wonderfest? I'm just going to have a quick look here. Are they still coming out with Wonderfest content? Or have they made it through all their Wonderfest content? Let's quick peek here. They brought one out 2 days ago, but I'm not sure if that's from Wonderfest or not. I'm not sure how many interviews and stuff they did with people at Wonderfest. All right. Do this a little bit differently this time. I'm going to tack it down to start with, and then I'm going to put another batch over top, because it does settle between pouring it in or pouring it on and hitting it with the UV light. So sometimes it's good to put a base on, cure that up, and then put a top coat on, and then cure it up. I will epoxy this thing as well. I'll throw some epoxy in there. But that's actually probably really good. So let's mix up a wee bit of epoxy so that we can get that secured down, and that's fine for that epoxy to set up while we're installing everything else. Not a problem there. I just need a palette for the epoxy to go on. I just use some scrap plastic core to mix my epoxy on, especially when I only need small batches. Captain Shalnang says, well, no more modeling for me for a couple days. Just cut open the lower edge of my palm when hobby knife skipped from balsa wood block for my 1/200 Prince Eugene. That means, and no work on and watching stream. Ugh. I am sorry to hear that. Well, you know what they say. No model you build, every model you build comes with blood, sweat, and tears. Literally. I don't know that there's a model I have built in modern times where it hasn't exacted a blood sacrifice from me. The sharp number 11 blades, they'll get you. They'll get you every time. But on your palm, I hope it's not too deep. I hope you can get it closed up. and covered, and it's not going to keep you from working for too long. Just one moment, please. Please hold. All right. Toothpick. Actually, I can turn my solder station off for now because I don't have anything to solder. No point running the heat on it when it's not necessary. Okay. We'll throw some epoxy over the solar res area here. We'll throw some epoxy in here. And we'll throw some epoxy in here where it joins to the armature. And that's going to be all it's going to need. All right, good. Let's get rid of the gloves here. Stephen Martin says, I fought the model and the model won. Yeah. Let's see. David James says, yeah, weird to think Picard only had a model of the prototype ship all that time, although that glove is done for now. Although I'm sure it was meant to be his actual Stargazer. Yeah, I can't speak to the validity of the lore that was expressed in the video there, but I always just assumed it was the Stargazer, and it was just painted that way just to be a low detailed model sitting in his ready room. Because none of the ships that you see as models on screen are highly detailed, right? They're meant to represent whatever the ship was. I seem to think that there was actually a Constitution class refit in his office for the first couple episodes until the episode The Battle, where they actually made it to be a Constellation class. Because as far as I remember, they actually filmed the battle with the understanding that Picard had commanded a Constitution class, and Geordi even calls it a Constitution class. And the reason they came up with the name Constellation class was because they could LeVar Burton could overdub Constellation over Constitution, and it wouldn't look weird with the way that his mouth wouldn't look weird with the way his mouth said it. So that's my understanding. Let's see. I already said that. Captain Shalamang says, well, Andrew, my enacted 2 blood sacrifices today, my palm and thumb, so ship to me 0. Yeah, it happens. I've sliced my fingers so many times. The worst thing is then I can't. It's hard to wash dishes if I've freshly sliced my hand. So that's always fun. All right. I'm just kind of going over to make sure that there isn't anything that we... Oh, right. Okay, let's put this aside because we've got the fiber on the top part to feed through before we install the 2 halves together. All right, let's bring this guy back. I think I've already created the hole for the fiber in the photon launcher, and yes, I have. So I need somewhere around here. Oh, it's over here. Not that you guys can see it, but I can see it. I've got another one of these, and we are going to feed it through. This can be a little bit tricky. I have to feed it through the hole I drilled, which means I have to find the hole I drilled first. And I have a flashlight around here somewhere. I might have to take my glasses off for this. Oh, I think I see it. Not that you guys are going to be able to see this very well on camera. My apologies. But hopefully, all things being equal. How did I do this on the other one? Let's see. David James says, yeah, a constitution with those weird sideways nacelles. Yeah, I thought it was a constitution. All right. First of all, let's see if it fits through this way. I did paint the fiber. So that could be a bit of an issue. I might have to open it up a little bit more. Where is my, here it is, my thin vise. Should have the right size in there. Let's just work this a little bit. Here, move this so that you can see. Just scraping down the sides a little bit, see if that's going to help. Okay, well, it feeds through. But now let's see if I can feed it through from this side. Just going to star comment so I don't repeat myself there. Am I even getting this into the right spot here? It's such an awkward spot to see. Yeah, that's the spot, all right. And there's no good way for me to show this to you. Yeah, there's no good way for me to interact with you while I'm doing this. Oh, might have gotten it. Yes. Got it through. All right. Now the question will be the length of this, but that'll be determined. The length will be determined once we get it installed inside the ship. Okay. That's good. It is through. I'm just going to set this down here. Catch up on the chat, which won't take me long. Captain Shalming says, goes to show they were having to improvise a lot with doing TNG, considering not a whole lot existed in terms of ship lore from TOS, if memory serves me right. Yeah. Whenever we saw another Federation starship, it was just the Enterprise relabeled, right? Every ship was a Constitution-class ship. So, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. In fact, we didn't get another design of a Federation ship until Star Trek II, when we got the Reliant. Okay, let's grab the lower section again. Now, I'm going to just to be on the safe, just to play it safe. Grab my tulip. Oh, no, that's solar res. Grab my tulip, my black tulip paint. And again, this is not going to be dry for installation, but that is okay. Shouldn't cause any trouble. Oh, and leaving comments on the screen. It's the service I provide, blocking what I'm working on. And I'm just going to throw some. I'm going to cut a little piece of magnet wire and try to pop that nozzle open again. One moment, please. I have a stash of magnet wire, which I really don't use for wiring anymore. I tend to use it to declog teeny tiny nozzle heads. Problem with this is I can never find the end. I don't know if you guys can see me over here. Oh, found the end. Nope. Yes, I did. Lighting's also not very good over on the bench there right now. But I should be able to pop this in the nozzle and clear any blockage. There we go. All right, round 2. So I'm just going to pop on some tulip over the fiber cap, the LED cap where the fiber is. Seal in that LED so I'm not getting either white light from the window lights coming into the photon or red light from the photon getting into the window lights. There we go. All right. Maybe I will help this along a little bit. Just a little bit, just encourage the drawing process a wee bit. Actually, I don't want to do that too much because the fiber could melt. So yeah, let's not and say we did. All right. Okay. Now we're going to do a bit of a test placement here. I might want to tape up all those wires. Make my life a little bit easier here. Yeah, let's make some tape straps and secure them down a little bit. Just some thin strips of tape, except I completely didn't do that well. Accidentally cut the piece I was trying to cut. I didn't say that right either. I accidentally cut the piece I was trying to create. Here we go. All right, let's tape this up here. Yeah, I'm going to be able to undo this. That's not a problem. Let's just tape that up. Keep it under control. And another bit of tape up here, just so we're not fighting with the wires as we're putting that top piece on. There we go. Let's see. David James says, did you see that guy in one of the Facebook groups who had his Helios D mounted on a wall? I love the idea, but not sure I'd have the nerve to try it. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of weight on that. I hope he's got it mounted well, but also I'd be curious what he did as far as armature, because a lot of the weight in this is also my metal armature. If he didn't put in a metal armature all the way through, I'd be concerned about how the model will survive over time. If he did put a metal armature through, I'd be concerned about how it stays mounted to the wall over time. But I did see that. And Captain Shelling says, going to catch you later for second stream, Andrew. Very, very well. All right. Have a good afternoon, and we'll see you later, Captain Shelling. All right. There we go. Let's do a... let's make sure this is all going to go on okay. Right, okay. I'm going to have to do a wee bit of modification, I think. Yeah, I'm going to have to chew a little bit away on the underside of this part, on the back end, where the pylon support goes. And that I will probably do between streams. So we probably won't get... We're not going to get this installed right now. Because what I need to do is I need to chew a little bit of that away so that the back end will sit down properly. I forgot about that. So I'm just going to mark roughly where that is. I'm going to transfer that to the top part. And I will explain what I'm talking about here. Let me remove that. So where the metal armature sits, I need to remove. So I've marked it on here. I'm going to have to remove some of the underside here so that there's room for the metal piece to be slotted underneath. That's something I'm going to do outside between streams because I do not want to be doing that much chewing away of the resin in the shop. I want to keep all of that outside. So we are not going to be able to join these two parts until that is done. So I'm going to put the secondary hull aside, and we're going to move on to probably working on some saucer stuff here. So I'm going to just reconfigure for that. So that'll just take a moment for me to kind of reset up for that different work, and I will also just need to tidy up some of the stuff here that I have been working on, so I've got space. The final frontier. No, space to work on the saucer. Let's see. Pierre Van Gauche. Pierre Van Gauche. I'm gonna say bonjour de Belgique. Bonjour, merci d'être ici aujourd'hui. Mon français, c'est le français québécois. C'est pas le français from Europe. Et c'est pas exactement le meilleur français dans le monde. So welcome to the live stream. I'm assuming that Belgique is Belgium. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which is where one of these Enterprise Ds is going when it's all done. How it's going to get there, that's going to be the tricky part. But welcome to the live stream. This is not my normal live stream time. This is considerably early. And so what we're doing is we're doing a double header tonight. We are doing a live stream now, which we have about an hour left, and then I'll take a dinner break. So I start at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll go to 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to take a dinner break, get some other stuff done, and then I'll be back at my normal time for my normal live stream. And so Pierre says, "Nice to see you finally at a decent hour for us in Belgium." Yeah, it's tricky. If my family is here, it's tricky to live stream any earlier than I do. Usually, I'm live streaming after the kids are in bed. So that kind of controls my live stream times right now. But they are away. They arrived at the in-laws, and I'm sure they're going to have a wonderful time, having a lot of fun this week with the grandparents. So, okay, let's see. I don't think I've cleared off enough space to be able to work on the saucers, and I also need to figure out exactly what work I need to do on the saucers. I am thinking that I'm going to have to get everything lighting-wise and wiring-wise prepared on the lower section of the saucer, which is going to include the navigation lights here, here, and here. And I have the benefit this time around of being able to take those measurements of exactly where they are to be located from the other model. And what I will do with the navigation lights is I will open up the navigation light spots on the upper section first, because I can locate them exactly to that one back there based on the window location. And then that way I can put these two pieces together and locate the bottom based on the top. So that's what I will do there. Let's see. It's been a little while since I've worked on the bottom, so I need to just refresh myself as to where everything is at with the bottom lighting. So I'm also going to pull up my lighting spreadsheet. Yes, I've got a spreadsheet dedicated to the lighting on this model because I have to keep track of it. And if I don't have it all written down, I'm going to lose track of what goes where when. Okay, so we've got... Okay, saucer windows start at LED number 177 to 301 for the phaser array. So phaser array is first. So we have these wires here. So power is going to come up the neck. It's going to we're going to run power into here, and then the data is going to connect to the neck here, and the data will come out here. And that will go to saucer deflector, so we can wire these up, no problem. We can wire the data up here today. So if you're unfamiliar with the lighting system, we are using the inner light system from Scale Electronics, and it is running off of the Raspberry Pi here. And what it does is it allows us to control all of the addressable lighting inside the ship from a user interface. So I get the whole thing built, and I can go back after the whole thing's built and deal with the programming. So all I'm doing right now is working on getting the LEDs installed. There's one data chain that goes through the whole thing so that all of the LEDs are in a sequence. That way the controller can control them based on where along the pathway they are. So LED numbers 177 to 301 are the phaser arrays, the lower phaser array. And then the data chain will go in, it'll come out here, it'll power the next 4 LEDs, which are the saucer deflector. And then we'll take this out, which will then go to the data will then go to the lower saucer windows, which are on the metal armature piece that will go on here. So that'll get hooked up once the armature piece is installed onto the saucer. But right now, we can get the data channel hooked up to the deflector, the saucer deflector here. All right. So I've got considerably more wire than I need. I can bring it right around the phaser array. I'm just going to chop this off. Get a fresh bit to connect here. Oh, turn my solder station back on. Here we go. And we'll get the Omni thingamadoohickey here. Place it on here. That way we can secure our wires while we are soldering them. Same thing here. That way they're not moving around when I'm trying to apply hot metal to them, which is always a plus. There we go. That was fun. You need a little slightly larger shrink tube there, which I'll throw this green one on because I've got it spare and our data channel is green anyway. I'm going to run the really thin black that I've got here for the thinner 30 gauge side. Make sure everything's covered well. Prevent any future short issues. Will's Workshops here says, my mouse says, good evening, Andrew. That looks like a huge build. Yeah, it's pretty big. Just what you notice. Welcome to the live stream. We are live streaming a little bit early tonight. I'm actually doing 2 live streams tonight. So one right now and then one later on at my normal live streaming time because I have my family is away at the in-laws. So I have a little bit of extra. Talking and soldering at the same time, not necessarily the best thing here. So I've got a little bit of extra flexibility with my time and how I structure my time. So I figured if I'm going to be in the shop getting some work done, might as well go live at the same time. There we go. So I will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern as well. So I'm going for about another 54 minutes right now, and then I will take a dinner break, and then I will be back at 9 p.m. Eastern for my normal live stream time. And then I might do the same thing next week. But if I'm going to do the same thing next week, I will know further in advance, and I'll be able to get that information out earlier. And if I do, it'll be basically the same kind of times. So 4 to 6 and 9 to 11. And I'm considering, we'll have to see how my morning goes because I do work on Sundays in the morning. But depending on how my morning goes, I might do a short 2-hour. Well, 2 hours is kind of my normal streaming length, but I might do a 2-hour live stream Sunday afternoon from 2 till 4, because then at 4 o'clock the Hobby Time Modeler stream starts, and so I'll be able to kick any viewers directly over to the HTM stream, which then I will probably just join. So I'm thinking about possibly doing that. So we'll see how that works out. All depends on how my morning goes. And if I get home from work at a decent time. So, all right, let's tack this wire in place. Tack it down. And I need a new glove. We got some up here. So for those of you who have joined since the beginning of the stream, what are you guys all working on tonight? I know I asked at the beginning of the stream, but there's a bunch of new people here. So what projects are you working on at your benches tonight? Or this afternoon. It's afternoon here. I'm so used to streaming late at night. I'm going to say tonight because it's way too difficult for me to change that. I will only think of it once it's out of my mouth. Let's see. Will says early works for me. Currently 10 p.m. in the UK. Yeah, I know my normal streaming time. Wayne from World of Wayne popped in earlier, and I know it's tough to do anything early on. I mean, any earlier. Be right back, guys. I just have to take a phone call. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Hopefully we didn't lose the world while I was gone there for a moment. Let's see. Get that tacked in. Follow up on some of the chat. Will says I was working on the Mallard earlier. It's so close to finished. Video will go up on the usual Mallard Monday. Very cool. And Stephen Martin says work continues on my Super Star Destroyer build, coming along nicely. Very cool. Very nice. All right. This wire is going to be nice and neatly tacked away, out of the way of interacting with anything else or getting in the way of anything else. You always gotta love that. Just waiting for the UV to work. It's waiting for the UV light to do its thing. There we go. All right, that's one little job done. I don't think there's anything else I can do on this bottom part right now until I get the nav lights sorted on the top part. So let me swap out saucer halves here. Let me grab the upper part, because then we'll be able to locate those nav lights. That's been scuffed up a little bit. Not a problem. It'll be fine once it's got its next coat of primer on it. Need to make a little bit more space to get this in frame. There we go. All right, so the front nav light is going to be pretty easy to locate. Why is there a bit of hot melt glue on this? There is not supposed to be a bit of hot melt glue on that. Very strange. I'll make sure that's fully removed. And I've destroyed this glove. It got sliced somehow. Not a big deal. So I'm going to use the window placements to measure where, or to take the reference for where the navigation lights on the sides are going to go. We'll get the one in on the front. And then we'll be able to get some 0402 SMDs installed. I'm going to just double check the placement of the front one, how far up it's supposed to go. I've got the correct drill bit in here. We find the center of the front, and we just go right ahead and drill the hole. There we go. Let me move this keyboard out of the way. I don't need the keyboard so much while I'm live streaming. Let's move some of this wire out of the way. Some of this other stuff out of the way, and we can move this a little bit further back. That way, what I'm doing is a little bit easier for you to see. There we go. We're all the way through there. It's one aperture opened up. All right. Actually, I'm going to do the starboard side first, because that's the side that's already facing the right direction on the model for me right now. So I'm going to find we're going center. Well, we're at the center, obviously. And we're above that window. We're about that far from that window. Let's see if I can find that spot on here. I'm going to do a little bit of back and forth here. I've marked it here. So 1, 1, and 2. That looks like it's the exact right spot that's on the model. Let me just go back here. Looks right. I think I just need to bring it in a little bit closer to the window there. All right. And then we locate the exact same spot on this side. The windows are the same. What's not quite the same are my rim windows, but that's okay. Actually, I did get them in the right locations. Okay. We have side nav marked, and they look right. Okay. We're good with that. And Darth Trent says, "Gotta go. See you later, Andrew. We'll have a good afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. And maybe we'll see you back on the later stream." All right, so I'm going to get these drilled in. Do apologize. This thing is big enough that it is taking up the entire width of the camera frame here, the way that we've got it. This takes a little bit of patience. We'll eventually work our way through. I just lost something on the floor back there. I think it was just a microscope slide, which you can't even hardly see on camera. Microscope slides are for the SolarEs glass. Oh, we're through. So a light aperture there. Turn this around. We'll do the same thing on this side. Just checking, see if I'm all the way through. I think I'm almost there. Yep. I was so close to being all the way through there. All right. Now I'm going to go get the bottom saucer. We're going to temporarily put them together just so that I can locate the nav light positions on the bottom. I don't really need to fully put it together. I just need it to... Actually, this one sits really nice. This one sits together quite nicely. All right. Hopefully that bodes well for saucer construction. All right. So let's grab a little bit of tape and wrap this over. And that means right here is where we want our nav light to go. We'll do the same thing now on the other side. Wrap this around. Flip it over, make sure I'm remembering which side of the tape I am marking. Pencil. Going right there. And just to make sure that we're lining everything up properly, we're going to do the same thing on the front. It shouldn't matter on the front. I just need another piece of tape strip. I've got some over here. Way off camera that you can't see. Sorry about that. We're going to do the same thing here. Just in case there's any weird alignment issues. Flip it over. And mark it. All right, Will's Workshop says, enjoy the rest of the stream, Andrew, and your later ones. Maybe I'll catch you on another stream. Very cool. It'd be great if you did. Like I said, I will be streaming. I will probably be doing this again next week because the family is still away on Saturday next week. So I'll probably do the same thing, where I'll do an earlier stream and then the later stream. So thank you for stopping by. It was great having you here. All right. Let's detape and take this apart. There we go. It didn't complain coming apart. We'll put the top back over on the other bench. And this time around, I need to put something under it. I need to put a piece of wood or something underneath, because I'm likely to drill through the table on these ones if I don't. And I just want to prop this spool of wire is not the best choice here because it's flopping all over the place. Let's get that locked down. I'm just going to prop this up a little bit. Needs to go up a little bit more. Let's put something else underneath it. There we go. That way this is flat over here. And let's drill our hole. Yep, drilled through. There's a hole in the wood underneath. I am starting to get hungry. Good thing I'm taking that dinner break. And I've drilled through there. And one more over on this side. There we go. All right, so that's the Navalite openings on the edges. And then I do have one to do on the by the bridge on the upper saucer section. need to clean up a little bit here. I don't want bits of the resin sticking around on the desk, if I can help it. All right. I'm just going to go back to my video reference of the D from Generations and double check. It's just the one flasher on the top. Okay. And where is that located? Right at the base of the bridge. So we'll get the upper saucer section back here. And I made a mistake on the first one. Not a big deal. Just a order of operations mistake that just made things a little more difficult for myself. I didn't install this LED before, like I didn't drill the hole and install the LED before I put the bridge and conference room in. This time I'm going to do that. So let's make sure that's centered. Let's drill that through. Put my glasses back on. Doing it this way is going to make life a lot easier for me, I think. Okay. So that's all the holes drilled in for the lights. So while I am thinking of it, red, green. So that's red over here. And that's green over here. I'm going to mark those so I don't get them mixed up. I'll do the same. I need a place just to set this over here. Let me move some of my other stuff on. I've got a side to. Oh, found all my loose wire. I've got a side table over here. I can just move a few things around and set that there. That way it's a little easier for me to swap back and forth on these big, huge saucer parts. And then the lower saucer part is just the way you see it. Red over here and green over here. I just like to mark them for orientation issues because I don't want to accidentally get the wrong one in on the wrong side, because that's a pain to fix if that happens. All right. So we've got about half an hour left, which means I can get a bunch of these 0402 SMDs installed into the ship. So let's do this. All right. Let's start with the white at the front on the bottom saucer. Poke it through. Pull some of it through. I'm going to lay it down. And we're going to hopefully be able to put these very fine wires into the breadboard enough. Nope. I almost burnt it out. I almost gave it way too much power. Forgot that I have to attach it to the spot that has the resistor on it. All right. I'm like, hopefully I didn't already burn it out, but I don't know if you can see. But there's The Wii light, yeah, it's going to have a hard time staying on. But I like to have it on while I position it. If I kind of, it's going to be hard to shadow it, so you can see, but you might be able to see it flickering on and off there. The reason why it's flickering on and off is just because of the precarious way it's in the breadboard. Okay. That should be placed well enough. Let's take it out of the breadboard. Let's encase it in some Solares. Oh, Fat Man's Kitchen is here. Let's see. Fat Man's Kitchen says, found some cool stuff at Michael's today. I plan on making terrain tomorrow. Very cool. Welcome to the early live stream. We're going for another 25 minutes here, and then I'm taking a dinner break, and I'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern for my normal live stream. Just a bit of a bonus live stream tonight. And Dash is here, says, wait, what? Did I just walk into a burnout? A burnout? No. If you're talking about the light, it's precariously attached to the breadboard just to test the placement of the LED. So if I put this back into the breadboard, and these are so fine, it's hard to see where it's being placed. You can see that it's going there if you look really closely. And Dash, I'm here early. The kids are gone. My wife is off for the week, and so she's taking the kids to the grandparents for the week. They're going to have a whole bunch of fun, and I'm here. We split our holiday time. We split our holiday time in the summer for childcare reasons. So she takes a couple weeks, and when she takes the week, she takes the kids to her parents, and they have a load of fun there. So I've got some extra time to live stream, so I figured I'd come on early, do an early live stream, and I will take a break in about 25 minutes or so, take a dinner break, and then I'll be back for my regular live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. So Fat Man's Kitchen says, what you working on? I am working on the saucer section of the 650 scale and price D. I am getting some 0402 SMDs installed. And there is... why is it that we are not installing the... Oh, right. There's some work I'm going to have to do off camera between live streams on the secondary hull so that we can put the secondary hull parts together on the second live stream tonight. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done in between streams. There we go. But in the meantime, I'm installing LEDs on the saucer section. And David James says, gotta say, I definitely prefer the window lighting on the 6-footer. Windows on 4-footer are completely random and asymmetrical, and most inside the phaser strip are unlit for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. They're definitely very different models. The expert on the 4-foot model, I would say, is Wayne over at Motion Picture Miniatures. He's recreated the he's recreated the 4-foot filming miniature from molds from the ships. So He's kind of got the corner on the knowledge there. Dash says, I won't be in the regular live stream. I have to put on my blue and red underoos and red cap and fly to the movie theater. Well, have fun. I'm assuming that you're watching a superhero movie based on what you've said there. I'm just guessing, but I'm going to guess it's some sort of superhero movie. I'm not actually up on what all movies are out because I've got kids. I can't go to the movie theater. Let's see. And Dave James says, just weird they didn't try to make the models look more identical. Yeah, I think the 4-footer was made in a hurry between season 2 and 3. So I think that there's probably, I don't know, decisions that were made, right? So, Dash is going to see Superman. Cool. Well, glad you're able to pop in for a few minutes here on the early live stream. Too bad we'll miss you on the later live stream, but I hope you enjoy Superman. And then Stephen Martin says, nice bachelor week, making dinner, ordering out. Family is great. Dad, me time never hurts. Yeah. I hate cooking for myself. I hate cooking just for myself, but I got a good deal on some steaks at the grocery store earlier. So I will probably throw a steak on the barbecue after this live stream. And do that. So I'll get some protein in me before the next live stream. All right, we need a green SMD. And I feel like... Oh, Ken's here.
Good evening or good afternoon.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I know I surprised everybody. I'm live streaming right now.
Well, that's cool.
How strange of me, I know. So with the family away, I figured might as well do an early stream, and then I'm going to come back for my normal stream later.
Well, that's cool.
So that's how I've kind of decided to do it. I am short a green LED.
Oh, what size?
I'm short on. I thought I wired up enough for the whole ship, but I am short a green 0402 SMD. I'm going to have to wire up a new one and let it run for 24 hours before I install it.
Howard.
Whoa, Dash! Dash just dashed a dash, and sorry, Dash, I don't have a special dash screen like Wayne does. But Dash says, super chats are just super important too, right? Well, Dash, I really appreciate that. Always, never needed. Your presence is good enough, but thank you. And then he says, here, split it up for 2 streams. Sure, we'll do that. Dash is not going to be with us tonight. He's going to be watching Superman.
Right on.
So it's cool that he was able to stop by for this stream. Before I install this LED, I'm going to make sure that I find the right resistor I put on so that they are consistent. So I'm going to pull my resistor bin out. And where is my resistor bin?
It's over there.
It's where resistance is futile. Okay, so I found my. So I was missing a. Found it. Never mind. I was about to say I was missing. I've got all these margarine tubs. We get a margarine from because we can't use butter because my daughter has a whole bunch of allergies and one of them is dairy. So we use a plant-based margarine from Costco, and they come in these containers. And so I use them all over the shop. I wash them out and use them all over the shop for all kinds of stuff. I was looking for one of these containers with all my scrap bits of wire in them from earlier, and I couldn't find them, and found them after I needed them. So I'm going to assume that this is one of the ones I've got kind of set aside here, but I don't remember what value I used, and I wish I had written that down. It's not that one. It won't be this one. I don't know why this one is out. It's one of the blue ones, actually. It's not that. I think these are ones that came with some LEDs. So I guess I have to find some blue ones, and that'll tell me which value it was I put on here. So what are you up to tonight, Ken?
Well, I was working on my A10, but now I'm just letting some paint dry. And then we go back downstairs afterwards and keep painting some more.
Okay. Now this might be, I might have used, I've used one of my standard, what value is this that I use on the white ones? Because it looks like I use the same value. I think it might be 20, it's got to be 20 something. I mean, they're blue, which means I ordered additional. I get multi-packs of resistors. And of course, I never use all of like all of them. I always use a lot of different ones.
Right.
And so I end up ordering secondary volumes of resistors. And it might actually be this package here, which are 22K. I've got a loose one in here, so I can just pull it out and compare it to what is on here. And yes, that's what I'm using. I'm using 22K on the green side. So I've got my resistor. I'm going to set aside the big saucer, the honking huge saucer. I'm going to find my green 0402 SMDs. I reorganized my shop. I keep going into the wrong drawers for stuff because I swapped to workspaces. And so the workspace that was beside me is now behind me, and the workspace that was behind me is now, or that is beside me was behind. Yeah, it's a big thing. Dash says, use the resistor calculator to put in the colors. Yeah, well, it was faster for me to find the blue ones because they were the only blue ones I had. All the others are kind of a beige color. So.
And Deep Spacecraft says, with UK time difference, it's great to catch a live show.
Yeah, well, thanks for stopping by.
Yes, it's almost 11 o'clock your time in the UK.
Yeah, as I said, I'm hoping, because they're still away next Saturday, I'm hoping to do the same thing. So kind of the same time frame where it's 4 to 6 Eastern and then 9 to 11 Eastern. So do a double stream again next week. That's the goal.
Nice.
We'll see how it works out. And then I'm thinking tomorrow, Ken, I am thinking about doing a live stream from 2 to 4 and then sending everybody over to the HTM stream at 4 o'clock and then join the HTM stream at 4. So timing mine to end for when the HTM starts, and hopefully just kind of bring everybody over to HTM from there. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Not 100% sure that's what I'll do, but that's the thought right now. And as we know, it's the thought that counts, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I brought my whole 0402 SMD bin over. I can put that back.
And place where you won't forget.
I lost my conference room window when I drilled a hole for the SMDs above the bridge. So I'm going to have to, that'll be something I have to reinstall. I'll have to remember to do that. But I'm going to finish doing this before I move on, or I will lose track of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I have a problem with those wires on those 0402s. like soldering to them and then shrink tubing them. They're
Yeah.
just so fine.
Well, I use the smallest shrink tube I have access to.
Yep.
But then with when I'm using the resistors, what I do is I put the really thin tube
Yep.
on, and then I cover that with the next size up over the resistor, and the two of them shrinking together kind of seals it all in.
Oh, okay. Good idea. Maybe I'll try that.
Which I will do now.
I just ordered some more shrink tubing with. I ordered some of that 3 times shrink.
Mm-hmm.
That way it'll shrink more than the regular stuff I have.
Okay. Did you get a variety of sizes?
Yeah, I did.
I need to get like the thinnest of thin in bulk or something, because that's what I go through the most. The
You can
thinnest
get
of thin
you
and
can
then
get
one
the
size up.
rolls. I saw on Amazon they had the rolls of it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Also in Tool Time, Todd put up a link about a week ago, maybe, but it's not too far back in Tool Time.
What time is it? It's tool time! That's right. Binford Tools presents Tim the Toolman Taylor.
But yeah, there's a company that he ordered from, and they'll do whatever size you want on rolls, like super long rolls,
Oh yeah?
like 100 feet and stuff like that, if you really want.
Oh, cool. So I've got the small, like the really thin on the SMD wire side. Here, I need something to contrast. Here we go. We've got the small, the very thin. I'm just going to put the thicker stuff over the resistor portion, and then I will hit that with the. Oh, I didn't have it turned on. There we go.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. You can even get 500-foot spools. Yeah.
That would actually be really good for like having the longer segments would be really good for isolating fiber.
Yeah, and then you can get it with where it's got the. I think you can get it with the uh, adhesive on the inside as well.
Yeah.
So
Camera's having a hard time focusing on that. Let me put the white behind it. There you go.
nice.
I'm a little bit too close for it to focus, but this is the new camera, the new overhead. And it's nice because I can just leave it set up all the time, and it makes it a lot easier for me um, to just impromptu live stream where I don't have to worry about whether the iPhone 11 is charged up or not, and get it set up and get it clamped to the clamp. Like this is just installed. All right, we have one green 0402 SMD, and I'll keep that for the top saucer since I want to try to get the bottom saucer wired up. But that'll have to sit for 24 hours now before I install that. In the meantime, we can get the lower saucer one installed. Better put my red LEDs over there before I lose track of where they are. I marked green and red so I don't get them confused as I am getting them installed.
Howard says, by the way, Andrew or Ken, you know the difference between the resistors with blue or brown body? I do not. Do you?
I should. I'm also just I'm kind of just distracted by where my my good green LED went. Oh, I found it. All right. What's the difference?
I think he's asking. I don't know if he knows,
Oh,
or maybe he's just checking to see if we know he's going to educate us. Because I personally don't have any idea.
so I figured he knew and he was checking to see if we knew.
He might be. It's kind of phrased like it might be.
All right, let's see if I can poke this through from the backside here. If not, I'll have to desolder everything.
Tony says, one's blue, one's brown. Duh.
Well, that is true.
Well, you got us there, Tony.
Sometimes I can feed these through these little holes from the backside, and sometimes I can't.
Okay, Howard says the blue is a metal resistance, but has a lower tolerance, 1 to 2%, and is better in lower RF noise.
Okay.
And Deep Space Craft says it's what they're made of. Brown, I think, is carbon, and blue is metal film. Okay.
One is self-sealing, the other is not. Wait, that's stun bolts.
Yeah, all I've got is brown ones, so I have no idea if I should be getting blue ones or if it even matters.
I mean, I haven't practically noticed a difference between them. Oh, I think my mouse did some stuff. Am I still here?
You're still here?
Whew. Things went weird on my screen because my mouse, the Enterprise D, activated my mouse.
Okay. Howard says the brown is made of carbon with clay mixed in for resistance, but has a higher tolerance of 5% and would put out more noise in a speaker.
Okay. I'm not using these on speakers, so.
Yeah, and then Deep Space Craft said, like Dash said, it is down to resistor accuracy. Brown is 5% and blue is 1%. Okay, so our purposes of lighting, then it really wouldn't matter, I'm assuming, then? As much?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't noticed any practical difference.
Right, yeah.
There we go. That's located nicely.
Okay, so Deep Space Craft says, yeah, for simple lighting circuits, doesn't matter. Blues tend to cost more, of course.
So, Ken, are you going to be around later during the 9 o'clock stream?
Yeah, I sure could be.
Cool. I'm going to wrap up here in a moment and take a break for dinner.
Well, that sounds good.
Also, I have to get some laundry off the line.
Right.
All those practical household stuff that
Right.
have to be done.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to go and do a little bit of second coat of painting, and then I'll be back in a couple hours for your later stream.
Yeah, you missed it earlier. Closer to the beginning of the stream, I was rolling around on my chair, and the chair went out from underneath me, and I fell on the floor.
Oh.
Live on camera. Also, I don't have the tea Earl Grey hot for the early stream.
Well, that'll be good for the later stream then.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where did I put my map? There it is. Okay, so we are. I got the green and the white. I still have to get the red into the lower saucer section there. But Dash says depends on if you are using them. Say in a radio, you'll find the blues used more in electronics. You won't hear noise interference. Yeah, cool. And says, oh, that sounds like better than hearing burnout. Not sure. And Deep Space Craft says, should be catching up with the two Waynes and Keith tomorrow and a small UK sci-fi model show, Small Space. Yeah. Wayne was saying that he was going to be seeing Wayne tomorrow. I guess it's at the Small Space show. Enjoy that. It's a little bit far for me to get to, that's for sure. And Dash says the chair going out from under. Oh yeah. That was I was pulling myself back. I was on the edge of the seat, and it just flipped out from underneath me. So, I was just glad I wasn't carrying a model or something at the time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I am going to take a. Dash missed it. You should be able to see if you go back through the replay of the live stream. But all right, that's going to be it for me right now. I need to take a dinner break. I will be back at 9 p.m. Eastern, so in 3 hours from now, I'll be back for my normal live stream time. So I hope that you've enjoyed the stream. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to my channel or haven't done so yet, hit the subscribe button today. I'm Andrew. This is Canadian Starships. Ken's been producing. We will see you back here, hopefully I'll see you, but I will be back here at 9 p.m. for the next live stream tonight. All right. Have a good afternoon, everyone.